Do you know that a third of Americans feel dissatisfied with their lives right now? That is 100 million people. That's insane. We are going to tell you everything about how to get what you want. Take a millisecond right now and think about what you want. And be selfish. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to triple your income? Do you want to start a nonprofit? Do you want to find love? What is it? That's part of the problem. You won't pick. So, we're going to be talking about how you get what you want. And frankly, getting what you want is simple. If you think about it, we live in the most amazing moment in time. You want to figure out how to take care of the elders and start a new hospital center. You want to move to Africa and build a school. You could Google it, and you could probably find at least 1,000 blogs documenting the step-by-step transformation that somebody else is already doing. You can find anybody online and start doing research on him. You can just walk in their footsteps. Just use the science of drafting. Follow what everyone else has done, because somebody is already doing it. So why don't you have what you want? When you have all the information that you need, you have the contacts that you need. There are probably free tools online that allow you to start a business, or join a group, or do whatever the heck you want. It all comes down to one word. F word. You know what I'm talking about. The F-bomb. It's everywhere. You hear it all the time. Honestly, don't understand what the appeal is of the word. You don't sound smart when you say it. And it's really not expressing how you really feel. It's sort of a cheap shot to take. And of course you know I'm talking about the word fine. How you doing? I'm fine. Really? You are? Dragging around those extra 40 pounds? You're fine. Feeling like roommates with your spouse? And you're fine. You haven't had sex in 4 months? You're fine. Really? We don't think so. Here's the deal with saying that you're fine. It's actually genius. Because if you're fine, you don't have to do anything about it. But when you think about this word fine, it just makes me so angry. If you're crappy, say you're crappy. If you're amazing, say you're amazing. Tell the truth. The bigger issue with fine is that you say it to yourself. The thing that you want, I guarantee you, you've convinced yourself that you're fine not having it. That's why you're not pushing yourself. It's the areas in your life where you've given up. Where you've said, oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I lost my job. I can barely pay my bills. But whatever, it's hard to get a job. There's this analogy, the inner snooze button. You have these amazing ideas that bubble up. You've been watching people all day, and every time you have an idea, what do? Hit the snooze. What's the first decision you made this morning? I bet it was going back to sleep. And the reason why I'm bringing up the first decision that you made today and the inner snooze alarm is because in any area of your life that you want to change, there's one fact that you need to know. You're never going to feel like it. Ever. No one's coming. Motivation isn't happening. You're never going to feel like it. Scientists call it activation energy. That's what they call the force required to get you to change from what you're doing on autopilot to do something new. So try this test tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier. And then when it goes off, take those bed sheets, throw them off. Stand up and start your day. No snooze, no delay, no more 5 seconds. Do it. And the reason why I want you to do it is because you will come face to face with the physical force that's required to change your behavior. Do you think that somebody who needs to lose weight ever feels like going on a diet? Of course not. You think they ever feel like eating boiled chicken and peas instead of fast foods? Of course not. The activation energy required to get your butt away from your computer and out the front door to go on the walk is the exact same amount of force that it takes you to push yourself out of a warm bed and into a cold room. What's interesting about being an adult is that when you become 18, nobody tells you that it's now going to be your job to parent yourself. And by parent yourself, I mean it's your job to make yourself do the crap you don't want to do, so you can be everything that you're supposed to be. And you are so damn busy waiting to feel like it. And you're never going to. As parents, and you were a kid, Your parents make you do the things you don't feel like doing because you won't ever. Not now, not then, not ever. And even when you get good at something, you'll figure out something else you don't want to do. And then you'll plateau out, get bored. I hate this job, boring. But will you look for a new one? No. You'll just bitch about that one. It's very, very simple to get what you want, but it's not easy. You have to force yourself. And the reason why I use the word force, there are two sides of the brain. One side of your brain as autopilot, and the other side as emergency brake. That's the only two speeds you get, autopilot, emergency brake. And guess which one your brain likes better, autopilot. You've had the experience where you've driven to work and you get there and you're like, oh my God, I don't remember ever driving here. You weren't drunk. That was your brain on autopilot. It was functioning just at this level. And the problem with your mind is that anytime you do anything that's different from your normal routine, guess what your brain does? Emergency brake. And it has that reaction for everything. You walk into the kitchen and see everybody's left their breakfast dishes for you. And you think for the 100th time, I'm going to kill them. But that's not your normal routine, is it? So your mind goes, emergency brake. And you go right into autopilot. So, when I say force, anything that's a break from your routine is going to require force. And if you think about your life, it's kind of funny, because we are kids and then we become adults. And we spend so much time trying to push our life into some sort of stable routine, and then we grow bored of it. You wake up at the same time every day. You have largely the same breakfast. You drive to work the same way. Show up at work, look busy, avoid making calls, scrolling Instagram. You attend a meeting and doodle the whole time. Go back to scrolling Instagram. Make plans for the evening, then drive home the same way. You eat largely the same dinner or a variety of it. You watch the same kind of media, and then you go to bed and do the same thing all over again. No wonder you're bored out of your mind. It's the routine that's killing you. I have this theory about why people get stuck in life. So, most of you have probably taken your basic Psych 101 class, and you've bumped into Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, your body is kinda cool, because you have these basic needs, and your body is wired to send you signals. If you need food, what do you feel? If you need water, what do you feel? I think when you feel stuck or dissatisfied in your life, it's a signal. And it's not a signal that your life is broken. It's a signal that one of your most basic needs are not being met. Your need for exploration. Everything about your life, about your body, grows. Your cells regenerate, your hair, your nails, everything grows for your entire life. And your soul needs exploration and growth. And the only way you'll get it is by forcing yourself to be uncomfortable. Forcing yourself to get outside, out of your head. If you're in your head, you're behind any lines. In fact, if we put a speaker on it and we broadcast what you say to yourself, we would institutionalize you. You would not hang out with people that talk to you the way you talk to yourself. So get out of your head. Your feelings are screwing you. Don't care how you feel. Care about what you want. And if you listen to how you feel, and when it comes to what you want, you will not get it. Because you will never feel like it. And you need to get outside your comfort zone. It's not about taking risks. It's about getting outside your comfort zone. Those first 3 seconds when you push yourself out of bed, they blow. But once you're up, it's great. Those first 3 seconds when you're sitting in marriage ceremony and somebody says, get up and come dance. And you think, I should do that. And then you're like, no. That experience that you had when you had the impulse to do it, and then you didn't do. The activation energy required to force yourself. Your emergency brake got pulled. I'm sitting right here. I'm not going up with those crazy people. I don't like to dance. Get outside. That's where the magic is. That's where the 1 in 400 trillion exists. So one more thing that you can use, the 5-second rule. Your mind can process a facial expression in 33 milliseconds. It can move pretty damn quick. The other thing that it does very quickly is, if you have one of those little impulses that are pulling you, if you don't marry it with an action within 5 seconds, You pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. If you have the impulse to get up and come dance while the band is playing, if you don't stand up in 5 seconds, you're going to pull the emergency brake. If you have an impulse about, you were inspired by somebody's speech today, and you don't do something within 5 seconds, write a note, send yourself a text, anything physical to marry it with the idea. You will pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. Your problem isn't ideas. Your problem is you don't act on them. You kill them. It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault. You're doing it to yourself. Stop it. We're counting on you. 1 in 400 trillion. You got stuff to do, and it's not going to happen in your head. So practice this today. Practice the 5-second rule. You see somebody and you think you have an impulse. They look interesting. Walk over there. You were inspired by somebody and you have a request. Make it. That's why you're here. Experiment with it, and you'll be shocked about what happens.